Welcome to Main Street Living. I'm Cheryl Nelson.
I'm Quincy Carr.
And I'm Danielle Alvari.
I always rock out to our theme song, guys. Do you rock out to that too when it's playing? Are you kind of dancing around, or is that just me?
Yeah, I bop. I bop a little bit, I sit here. I don't know what my problem is. I cannot stop moving. Like no matter what. If you notice, I'm always like this. Like Cheryl, you're always moving.
Yeah, I am. I'm on the go in a different way. And what I'm always doing is trying to get out and about and doing things safely, social distancing, of course. And it's great when you can be outside and take in some pretty scenery. So guys, this past weekend, I went up to Shenandoah National Park in the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia. And it was peak foliage. I call it leaf peeping when you're looking for the pretty colors there. So look at these gorgeous yellows. And I was so happy to see this because we tried it the week before and the colors were kind of dull.
Yeah.
It really started to come out. The next picture too will kind of show a broader view. You can see the Blue Ridge in the background.
Oh, wow.
Oh, Cheryl, is that your pose? Is that your...
That's one of my poses.
Her signature pose.
Yeah. Well, that's more the hand on the hip, I think. So I didn't go full pose this time. But we did do some hiking and found some other pretty colors. There's my pose, the hand on the hip. Yeah. So it was just really nice.
Cheryl,
and then my friend,
sorry, I just wanted to ask you. I thought I read something somewhere, maybe somewhere in our info, that you've been to every state. Is that correct? You visited every state?
I've been to all 50 states. I've been to over 30 countries. My call sign from my military friends is go-go because I'm always on the go.
Yeah.
And what's funny too, and was kind of unexpected on this trip, one of my girlfriends who took us around, she goes, "Oh, I've got to take you to see the camels." And I'm going, "What?"
Sure.
Yeah. So there's some camels who live with horses on somebody's farm and they allow people to come up and feed them carrots. So the camel was obviously very excited that I had the bag.
Very affectionate. Yeah.
And then after I fed him, he was grooming my head.
Yeah, I've never seen a camel and a horse together on the same farm.
He was actually really, really cute, guys. His name was Arthur, and he came to me when I called. And just absolutely adorable. And you know what else I saw? Have you guys ever seen the woolly bear caterpillars? The folklore says that they can actually help tell you what the winter forecast is going to be like. It depends on how much black they have on them. So the more black they have, apparently the more severe the winter is going to be. And if it has more black at the head versus the tail, then the winter's going to be worse at the beginning. So I took a video and I want to see what you guys think.
All right.
Let's play it. Hey, little guy. There you go. Super cute, right? So what's your forecast?
Something's crawling on you now.
The forecast is going to be a scary winter. That's what the forecast is.
He had more black on him than a lot of times and also had a longer front. So there you go. The beginning of winter could be off to a rough start in the mid-Atlantic states. We'll see.
Oh, wow.
Hey, but the beginning of this show is not off to a rough start. And we have a great one for you guys today.
Yes, we sure do. Got a lot of traveling going on. In fact, we're visiting the old ghost town out west.
And we also get to talk to a captain from the Salvation Army who talks to us all about giving back this holiday season.
And speaking of weather, like we've been talking about here with the caterpillars, 2020 has been a record-breaking year weather-wise, but what's in store for this winter? And we're not going to get the forecast from a caterpillar this time. We're going to talk with one of the country's most experienced meteorologists next.
Welcome back to Main Street Living, Danielle, Cheryl. We all know that two things make Cheryl's eyes pop: traveling and talking about weather. So I'm excited right now.
It's almost like you guys know me or something. Absolutely. And our next guest, I'm super excited about this segment because we are talking weather. And 2020 will go down in the record books as far as the hurricane season is concerned. And we can partly thank La Niña to that. But have you ever wondered what La Niña is? What about El Nino? And what does all of that mean for this winter's weather forecast? Well, our next guest is Greg Fishel. He's one of the smartest men I know, and he's a meteorologist with 41 years of experience experience. Greg, so good to see you. Welcome to Main Street Living.
I really appreciate the opportunity to do this and to see you again.
Absolutely. So, Greg, first of all, tell us the difference. And I know this, but I want you to tell our viewers what the difference is between La Niña and El Niño.
It basically can be observed by looking at the water temperatures along the equator in the Pacific Ocean. That if you see a stripe of warmer than normal water temperatures along the equator in that region of the world, then we're in an El Nino. And if it's abnormally cold or colder than normal in that same region, then it's a La Nina. And research over the years has shown that strong events, especially on both sides of the fence, have profound effects on the weather in all parts of the world.
Absolutely. And talk about what's happening right now in 2020 and what that means as we head into the winter season.
Well, every indication is that the La Nina conditions that have been developing will persist through this upcoming winter. And so generally, and I want to emphasize that word in all caps, it tends to correlate with warmer and drier than normal conditions across the southern half of the United States. And if anybody's going to be colder than normal, it tends to be the Pacific Northwest and perhaps up into the northern plains. However, I do want to point out that even if you end up with a milder than normal winter, it does not preclude the possibility of extreme events or just normal winter events in the other direction. For instance, in January of 1985 in Raleigh, North Carolina, which is where I spent most of my professional life, we set our all-time record low of -9, the all-time record by 7 degrees that was set back in the previous century. And yet that winter as a whole ended up being right around normal. And so just because an entire season can be characterized one way doesn't mean that individual days are necessarily going to match up with that.
I'm glad that you brought that up because we are seeing so many more extreme weather events, and a lot of that can be tied to climate change as well. And so what do you think the chances are, the mid-Atlantic states, for example, or even some place like Raleigh, North Carolina, in getting snow this year?
Would it be okay if I said, I don't know?
Yes. Meteorology isn't an exact science. I know, we all know that. So
no, but I think it's fair to say that, like, if you're a snow lover, and I think you and I, well, you don't love snow as much as I do you?
Oh, I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't after I lived in Syracuse, New York for 4 years, but I've been removed enough now that I do like snow again.
But if you're a snow lover, and an outlook like this comes out, I always tend to want to be encouraging and say, don't give up, because even though the 90 days may average out above normal, it certainly doesn't mean that 4 or 5 or even 10 of them can't be colder than normal, and something might fall from the sky during those times. So these are really, really long-term average outlooks. They don't tell you, like, I'll never forget, I had a lady call me one time and she said, my daughter's having an outdoor wedding in 6 months. What do you think?
Oh, no, I hate those.
And I said, well, there's no reliable way to do that. And she says, oh, I don't care if it's reliable. I said, well, then why did you call?
Oh my gosh. I mean, that's like rolling the dice at that point.
Yeah.
And so, so this winter, I mean, you can still hold out some hope there. Farmer's Almanac, what do you think about that? Yay or nay?
Now I haven't studied it a lot lately. I do know that one of the techniques they use is using solar activity, sunspots. And there was actually a graduate student at Penn State when I was there in the late 70s that had some luck in using that same type of thing to talk about even individual storms, like how strong they were going to get. So I don't want to discount it entirely, especially when it comes to a season. But, if you plan an individual event on an individual day based on what it says in the almanac, you deserve to get wet.
Oh, no, you didn't just go there. But I know you are 100% true with that because, you can't go by that. There's a lot of science into it. Greg, you know so much. I could talk with you all day about weather with all your 41 years of experience in the industry. And our viewers, where can they go to follow you and learn more? Because I know you post a lot about current weather events.
Well, I just started a page. I always had a personal Facebook profile, but I just started a page just a few days ago, and I'm sort of trying to migrate, everything over to that. And wouldn't you know that I'm forgetting the exact title, but it's something like the official weather page and other stuff along those lines. I guess my handle on that is there it is, the Fishel 6986. And I need to mention the significance of the 6986. Those are the 2 years the New York Mets won the World Series.
I knew it. I knew it had some kind of reference like that.
And having been a fan for 51 years and only 2 of them have been good.
Yeah, that's all right.
Fan.
Yes. Greg, you're the best. Thank you so, so much. And yes, I hope that our viewers do follow you because you have a lot of great experience and knowledge up there. So we appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate it, Cheryl. Great to see you again.
Good to see you too. All right. We've got lots more Main Street living coming up, guys, don't we?
Yeah, definitely. Poor guy's a Mets fan. Wow, really threw me off there. But I'm going to start using the Farmer's Almanac as an excuse for why I can't attend events. Don't know what the weather's going to be like that day. Stick with us. We're going to talk about how a donation can make a difference.
Welcome back to Main Street Living. You know, guys, more than ever, 2020 is really the year to give back if you're able.
Absolutely. I mean, this pandemic has gone on for way longer than I think a lot of us were expecting. And it's just created such financial burden on people. So more than ever is so important to give back this year. And so to talk to us a little bit more about that, we have Captain Caroline Rowe from the Salvation Army. Caroline, how are you?
Hi, good. How are you doing?
Hey, how
So
you doing?
good.
Thanks
so tell
for
us a little bit about the Salvation Army for those of us who might not know a lot about it.
Well, the Salvation Army, what is known today, was founded in 1865 by William Booth in London, England. And basically, he tried to provide spiritual help to those in need. And when he realized that so much poverty, hunger, and problems were happening, he realized that he had to meet those needs in order to then introduce them to a God who loves them. We're actually part of the Universal Christian Church, and our mission is to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ. So yeah, but we want to love people in the same time.
Okay, well, you know, and I like that, and I love the idea of calling you Captain. Can you tell us the type of needs that you serve in the programs that the Salvation Army does provide?
Yeah, so the Salvation Army is pretty well-rounded. We provide programs for children. We provide food boxes. We provide financial assistance, rental assistance. We're there for disasters. We're there if someone has a fire. We also help with rehabilitation of people who are struggling with substance abuse. Teaching life skills, recreation. Right now, I'm in the Phoenix Croc Center, and we are this huge community center where people can come in, and it's a family center where they can learn how to swim, or they can get a financial class, or what all these different things that we do. We actually go into different communities, and we do a needs assessment of what they need, and then the Salvation Army postures itself to be able to meet those needs.
Awesome. Like it.
So within that community, do you guys get to work with a lot of local businesses as well, or do they support you?
Yes, in fact, actually, community partners are really valuable and vital to what we do. Businesses who are kind and generous, individuals who come alongside of us and partner with us. We need collaborative partners. We could not do what we do without their help. They're vital.
Okay, and you know, and speaking of partners, I know it's not just me. I've gone places. I've seen the Salvation Army person out there ringing the bell. Sometimes they don't have a smile on their face, and sometimes they're extremely happy. I know that you have a lot of people that get involved.
All of our bell ringers are phenomenal. We help. We actually have about 3 million people who come alongside and volunteer with us, and that could be feeding, on Thanksgiving Day, and some of it is throughout the year where they volunteer as tutors. Some of them ring the bell for us. Some of them actually, even our Angel Tree shoppers, those are people that volunteer with us. They're critical partners to making sure that the Salvation Army can do what we do. Also, donations, of course, are always needed. Monetary donations are amazing because then the Salvation Army can position that funding to make sure we're using it in the best way.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And of course, we have a ton of holidays coming up. So is there anything in particular you guys have planned for that? Because I know you guys are at the forefront of all those holiday planning.
Yes, actually, for the first time in 130 years, the Salvation Army has made the decision to actually start our Christmas campaign early. And we've named this Rescue Christmas. The funds that we've raised through our iconic red kettles, we just anticipate that being a struggle, especially given COVID-19.
Sure.
We anticipate receiving 50% less to those kettles due to the fact that people aren't carrying change and the immense financial hardship that it's unprecedented, right? So we anticipate maybe 50% less, but 150% more as far as financial need, where we're going to be helping families. So I'm just asking your listeners, if you have even $25 this holiday season and you might not have change on you, go to our site, give us a gift, and it'll help to rescue Christmas. SalvationArmyRedKettle.org.
It's such a great way to give back.
Yes, it certainly is. And, you know, a little bit does really, truly go a long way. And so we certainly appreciate what you have done for so many years. And certainly appreciate you being a part of the show today as well.
Thank you guys so much for allowing the Salvation Army to come and to just talk about some of the ways that the community can help us. We appreciate your partnership.
All right. I Captain. Oh, yeah. We're going to commercial break. When we come back, are you ready to travel? I know I am.
Welcome back to Main Street Living. Cheryl, you're good at tech. I keep pressing my escape button and I'm still here. And I just need to get away.
Danielle, that was actually pretty clever. You know, I'm pressing mine too and nothing's happening. So
okay,
I'm
so it's not just me.
well. I think a lot of us are doing that lately. We're trying to press that escape button and go somewhere. And we've got the pandemic, we've got falling temperatures now, and people are looking for a change of scenery, just a little getaway. But can you actually travel safely right now? So international travel agent Michelle Barth is here to break it all down for us. Michelle, welcome to Main Street Living.
Well, thanks for having me. Yeah, definitely people are traveling. We're definitely seeing an increase for travel. Specifically in the US market, people are staying more local, mostly focused on the outdoors. So we're seeing destinations like Montana, Colorado, Utah, Wyoming. These are very popular destinations right now. And we're just also seeing an increase for last minute trip planning. So if you're looking to head out on the road or just looking for a couple or a family kind of getaway, these are very popular right now. These are the trends that we're seeing currently in the market.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I know that you specialize in unique, one-of-a-kind experiences for travelers. So tell us a little bit about that.
Sure, we do. I mean, at Just Escape Travel, definitely it's about understanding our traveler. So really getting to know that person, that family, understanding their interests, their travel style, their dislikes, the priorities for the trip, and really what they're looking to spend. And then from there, our travel specialists go to work really hand selecting those experiences. So hand selecting the right property, the right hotel, the right room for the clients, also really aligning with the right travel companies, the right guides, transport companies. There's a range of different needs that people are needing. So really by having those tools and those partnerships to hand select those things for our traveler, ultimately we could provide a higher level of personalized travel experience that you can't normally find.
It's like a concierge. You feel very special that way. And what about advice? Because I know a lot of people are concerned about traveling. They're worried about catching COVID. So what advice do you have for your travelers?
Well, the reality is everyone's circumstances and comforts are really different and range across the board right now. So I just was reading a Harvard study that just got released today stating that flying can actually be safer than going to your local grocery store. Mm-hmm. So it's one of those things that you just have to outweigh the risk and reward. And my advice is to just really understand your personal limitations and understand what the destination is doing, not only from a safety and restriction standpoint, but if you know before you go, you could really make sure that you have still a memorable travel experience and still by being safe as well.
Yeah, I like that know before you go. My family and I were going to go to an NFL football game this year, and we were looking at tickets, and the tickets were like very inexpensive. And then if we would have known how bad our teams were going to be, we wouldn't have are there some big discounts in some locations?
There is that assumption out there in the marketplace that you could get rock bottom pricing. But I think there's just something to keep in mind that most of all segments of the travel industry have been impacted in some capacity. Many, having to shut down and reopen under certain requirements. And so what we're seeing now is that the destinations or the properties that are open, depending on where they're located, have capacity limits. And with those capacity limits, say if a hotel could only have 25% capacity, well, unfortunately, they're not driving those deals. Most people that are traveling are paying, full or normal costs. So there is a little bit of that misinterpretation within that marketplace right now. Okay. We are seeing, however, more incentives to travel. So with the work from home mentality, we're seeing a lot of properties offer like longer stay specials. So if you're staying a week, 2 weeks, a month, even in destinations, also incentives to really just a stay pay. If you're going places, if you're staying 3 nights, getting a 4th night free, or different types of packages. There's a resort down in Mexico that actually, if you book, they come with, a tutor. So basically, if you are working from home, if you are traveling with children, you would have a tutor available, which would be a huge benefit if you have been, working from home and managing the household as well. So huge different incentives out there. It's just really about what works for you as a traveler, what you're comfortable with, and going from there.
That's fabulous. And, we're about out of time, but I know one thing is important is travel insurance. Could you tell us quickly what's not covered during a pandemic, and also maybe websites our viewers can go to check on locations, what's open, and COVID cases?
Well, each policy and coverage is different. So just know that. As far as what we do and what we don't know with travel insurance, if you do test positive for COVID or any immediate family members, most of the time travel insurance is going to protect you. So we are seeing an increase of demand for travel insurance, cancel for any reason, or an increase in demand for evacuation insurance.
Perfect. And finally, those websites, where can our viewers go?
Yeah, the best website to go to is the State Department, and that's www.travel.state.gov. That's going to give you a breakdown of the requirements by destination and the level and the warnings by the State Department. Also, the CDC is a great resource.
Thank you so much, Michelle. We certainly appreciate that. Traveling, and maybe we don't feel so bad after all about those tickets.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to go. I think that's great. Thank you for joining us.
Anytime's a good time to start your next trip.
Great advice. Starting your next trip. And in fact, when we come back, we may take a trip back into time, rekindling a childhood passion. Who knows? Stay with us.
I like
that.
Right back. Welcome back to Main Street Living. Danielle, Quincy, for many of us, COVID-19 has forced some downtime, and that's for the good or the bad, right?
True.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. I know with our next guest, before the pandemic, he was actually touring with his band, Jukebox the Ghost. And grounded by COVID, he threw himself into his childhood passion, and here to tell us more about his pivot, musician turned cartoonist and now author, Tommy Siegel. How you doing, Tommy?
Hey, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Hey, I am doing good, man. Flipping things around, I know that it's been a little bit of an adjustment. Kind of walk us and our viewers through the touring with your band, Jukebox, and then how COVID kind of turned things around for you.
Yeah, so I've been with my band, Jukebox the Ghost, for, I guess, 15 years now. We've been a full-time touring band. That's been our bread and butter. And COVID hit. We had to cancel, in touring indefinitely. I had luckily already been taking cartooning kind of seriously, so I had accidentally hedged my bets against my own touring music career. But luckily, it just meant that I could dive into it even more fully during COVID. And it also happened that before COVID, I had done a daily comics challenge. So I had seen another cartoonist that I really love do a comic every day for 365 days.
You did a comic a day. What, for a comic a day in 500 days?
For 500 days, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, part of it was that I watched this other guy just become better and better and better. And I kind of wondered if, it was one of those things I had done casually, but I hadn't really taken seriously. And I wondered if forcing myself to do a gauntlet like that would just up my game.
Well, they say practice makes improvement, because a lot of people think practice makes perfect. But the more and more you get yourself involved, and the better and better you get. Are there any boundaries with your cartoons in particular?
No, I mean, I try not to be mean. I think that's kind of my number one goal. If I can be funny without being mean, that's always great.
I think of Tom and Jerry. Yeah. Well, now you put your quarantine time to good use, obviously, and you recently published a book. Tell us about this book.
Yeah, so the book is called I Hope This Helps, Comics and Cures for 21st Century Panic. And it's basically it's a lot of it is a greatest hits anthology of the 500 Days of Comics Gauntlet. There's also new comics, and there's a lot of essays about the experience of really diving into a project with that kind of intensity. So there's a fair amount about the social media hellscape, because, a part of the drawing challenge was also essentially becoming my own social media manager across like 5 or 6 social media platforms, and what that does to your brain and what that entails.
Absolutely. And I would think that with your music and with your drawing and the comic books and stuff like that there would be some parallels. Is that true or no?
I find that creativity in general, there's like a lot of commonality, like whatever medium you're choosing. I think a lot of it's just about, like, I would call it like leaving out the welcome mat for it. Like knowing that you want to do something is important. Like, for example, if I want to make a comic, but if I force it too hard, it's probably not going to happen from my conscious mind. But like with songwriting too, I'm kind of a firm believer that if you, hone your craft and then give yourself a lot of blank space, whether it's in the form of a walk or run, in the shower, meditating, whatever it is, if you give your brain some empty space, that's where I find the new ideas start to really come in. But you have to like consciously decide that you want to percolate a new idea.
Yeah, and that's the thing with being an artist. I mean, like, each of us have different ways that we use to get into our specific art. We definitely look forward to your band going back on tour again in 2021. Any plans for another book, real quick, before we go?
Yeah, I'm actually wrapping up a follow-up to my first book already, that is called Candy Hearts, and it's going to be coming out right before Valentine's Day next year. So really excited about that.
Great, Tommy. We certainly appreciate you joining us today, and congratulations on your release. And definitely, as an artist to another artist, can't wait to see you guys get back out there and do what I know you love doing.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you again, Tommy.
That was so awesome. Well, hopefully they can get back on the road very soon, and stick with us, because next we're exploring the road to recovery.
Welcome back to Main Street Living, ladies. I have to say this, like when the world opens back up and we can invite each other over to our homes and stuff, I don't know if I'm up to it. I think my level of hospitality has minimized so greatly these last several months.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, I'm all for it.
Okay, well, I'm with Quincy. Speaking of hospitality, the hospitality industry has definitely taken a hit during this pandemic, and especially in Rhode Island. So here to talk to us a little bit more about that and bring some awareness to that issue, we have David Dedekian from Eat Drink Rhode Island. David, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So David, tell us, what is the situation of the hospitality industry in Rhode Island right now, especially heading into the winter and the holidays?
Well, it's very similar to a lot of the country right now. It's not great. I hate to be negative about it, but it's a very difficult situation. It's pretty big gray and getting chillier here as it is across much of the country. Though, of course, down in the south area, it's a lot different. Though there was hurricane season still going on, so everyone's kind of suffering, I think.
Absolutely, but you've kind of found a unique way to find something out of this bad situation. You've created these panel discussions. So can you tell us a little bit how you came up with this idea?
So I run a company here called Eat Drink Rhode Island. I do a lot of media marketing and advocacy for local food. Basically anything that's created here, to eat or drink, I try and support and help. And I thought, these panels would be a good way for everyone to hear what's going on the ground, hear the stories of everyone from farmers and food producers to beer makers and distillers to restaurants, and really see what's happening and how everyone can help.
Especially right now, so much importance on supporting local businesses. Definitely. What is the first episode about? I know you guys are working on that one.
So the first one, the name of the series is The Road to Recovery, Rhode Island Food and Drink. And the first episode, I have 3 guests on every episode. The first episode has Amber Jackson from the Black Leaf Tea and Culture Shop, John's Gambato from Yacht Club Soda, and Kate Kennedy from Wright's Dairy Farm. And so those are 3 businesses that have products here in Rhode Island, locally produced, been around for, in the case of Yacht Club Soda, 105 years, to Amber, who's only been around for a year. And basically, I chose those 3 to run the gamut to see, how things are affecting small businesses that are making, locally made artisan products.
Wow. Well, obviously not a great time for everyone right now in that regard. Is there any good news? Is there anything good news out there?
There is some. I mean, the truth is, while it's difficult for everyone, farms and small producers are seeing an uptick in sales, farm stands and local farmers markets, mostly because consumers want local right now. I think they feel more comfortable with shopping at those types of locations than in big supermarkets. They want to try and support their fellow Rhode Islanders, and I'm sure this is happening again across the entire country, where people want to support people that they actually know and see them create their products.
Absolutely. Where can we check out the episodes for Road to Recovery?
So it's going to be on the YourView YouTube channel, which is yourview.com/new-england. I also will be sharing it on eatdrinkri.com, which is my website, so I can link up all the guests' information, because I want people to hit their websites and their Instagrams and Facebooks and all of that.
Outside of social media, what other ways can people help out right now?
Shop local, eat out if you can. If you can dine outside or inside if you want. Just spend your money locally. That's really the bottom line. If you I don't want to say ignore the chains or anything like that, but I think that's where we are right now. Is we have to really shop locally and eat locally.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, David. We really appreciate you for coming on. It's such an important message. And I recently moved, and I've been going to a local coffee shop to the point where they're now, you're coming every day. And I was like, oh, well, now I'm embarrassed. But
no, don't be embarrassed. That's great. That's fantastic.
I know everyone's name. So yeah, that's kind of the fun part about shopping locally too. So thank you so much for joining us, David.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
All right. Shopping locally. I love to do that. And you know where else I would love to shop, guys? For some
anywhere,
gold.
everywhere.
How about gold in an old Wild West town, right? Wouldn't that be fun? And that's not necessarily shopping. You'd be kind of digging for gold. What do you guys think?
No. Don't dig for gold.
Cheryl, you're a gold digger? What?
Well, oh no, that came out totally wrong. That's not what I meant. But what I would like to do is go to one of those old Wild West gold ghost towns, right?
Okay.
We're going to give you a preview of one of those coming up, so don't go anywhere. And I'm not a gold digger.
Welcome back into Main Street Living. Quincy, Cheryl, have you noticed lately, I mean, especially in this past year, just less people out on the street, just less people out and about, and it's just kind of eerie, right?
It's sad.
Yeah, it's like a movie. But did you ladies know that there is a gold-filled ghost town out in Arizona?
What? Okay,
Yeah,
it sounds like the Wild West. We need to go.
Well, they even call it the getaway to the legendary Superstition Mountains located in Apache Junction, Arizona. Yep, it's a place where you can explore and enjoy the excitement of the Wild Wild West history. Let's take a look.
I've had a passion for the Old West all my life. I grew up watching the old Westerns. I loved going to Knott's Berry Farm when I was a kid. I grew up in California. And then as soon as I had a driver's license, I was off to the Mojave Desert and exploring old mines and old towns out there. I did some mining in the Mojave Desert, and I knew real well what old towns were like. And at that time, you know, in the, it was late 60s, early 70s, a lot of the old towns were rolling over into tourism. And I thought that was great because they were able to bring them back to life and let people enjoy some of that history. My name's Robert Schuss. Everyone calls me Mayor Bob around here. I enjoy being called the mayor. Like I said earlier, I'm not an elected official, it's a dictatorship, you know, but I'm also in charge of everything, which means repairs, maintenance, constant calls from everywhere. And it's fun. I mean, I've been doing it a long time, 34 years now, so I'm beginning to like it. I was in construction most of my life. I did a job in San Diego from here. This is after I was already living in Arizona, and it was a 2-week job. And we went night and day for 2 weeks trying to blow it out. And we were driving home, and a lot of my crew was saying, man, there's got to be an easier way to make a living. So we started talking, and the idea of reviving an old town came up. And when I got back, I started looking for one, and I found one. I was lucky enough to drive by a for sale by owner sign on the highway. I found out that this was the original site of Goldfield Ghost Town. The old train, we decided to put that in. Goldfield at one time was supposed to get a train running from Mesa to Goldfield, a little narrow gauge. And it came real close, but at that time they had a bad flooding of the mine, and they could no longer pump the water out, therefore they couldn't mine. And things went downhill. Goldfield never got his train, so we decided we were going to give Goldfield a narrow gauge. The stagecoach, that was a wonderful find that took place for us down in Tombstone, Arizona. They had an auction at the Wells Fargo Museum, and that stagecoach sat out front of the Wells Fargo Museum for years and years. Our first day we opened up, we did $9, and I'd spent about 150 grand at that point. And I was walking by the gold panning one day, and I seen this little kid. It still gets me to this day. I seen him panning for gold, and his eyes just lit up. I knew I did the right thing.
Oh, okay. I mean, I don't know if you guys have voted yet, but I wish I could vote for Mayor Bob because, wow.
Oh,
but
yes.
good
Yes,
reminder
yes.
to everyone to go out and vote.
Yes.
I know. I like him a lot. And we need to go there and find some gold, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think it sounds like one of those campfire storytellers too. Like if you listen to his voice.
Soothing voice, right? Yeah. Well, stick with us. We don't have as soothing of voices, but please stay with us. We have more Main Street Living coming up.
Well, look at that.
Wow.
Welcome back, guys. Look who I have here. Callie.
Cheryl, we forgot to ask you completely. Last week was National Cat Day. How did you and your kitty celebrate?
Oh, they just got extra treats. Yes, Callie.
Oh, yeah.
Aren't you cute? Aren't you cute?
She's so pretty.
Yeah.
you.
And so what's the name?
This is Callie, Cali, and she's a tortoise shell.
Wow. Wow. So it looks like Adeline's jealous right now.
Adeline might be jealous, although
she's right
Adeline
behind
freaks
She's
out.
right behind you.
No, she's not. Adeline freaks out when I put her on camera.
Cheryl, it's not too late to be Angela from The Office for Halloween. I think it's.
I know.
Perfect.
I could totally, maybe next year I could do that for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's always good. People take care of your pets, just like Cheryl loves taking care of her pets. And also, you guys, thank you for tuning in. You can also catch us on the go on our Cox Contour app.
That's right. I know we're everywhere, guys. And if you want to watch us on TV, you can catch us. Hi, Kelly. New episodes every Monday at 9 p.m. local time. We always do something fun. We always have lots of fun guests, and maybe we'll get more animal appearances. So yes, make sure you join us next time as we take another stroll down Main Street. Bye-bye.